We must strike now, before they are ready.
Picture this. The year is 750 AD. Chang'an is the largest city on Earth. 1 million people live inside walls that stretch for 20 miles. Emperor Xuanzong rules an empire from the Korean peninsula to the borders of Persia. This is the Tang Dynasty at its absolute peak, before the rebellion, before the collapse, when China was the most advanced civilization on the planet. But what was it actually like to spend a single day here, not as an emperor or a general, but as an ordinary person navigating the world's first truly cosmopolitan megacity? Using AI, trained on historical records and archaeological evidence, we've reconstructed what 24 hours in Tang Dynasty Chang'an actually looked like. Not just the silk and the dynasties, not just the poetry and the porcelain. We're talking about the real city, the avoidance curfew that locks you in at night, the night markets that aren't supposed to exist. The foreign merchants speak a dozen languages. From dawn to midnight, this is what life was actually like in Tang, China. Let's step back 1,300 years. Dawn. The sun hasn't risen yet, but Chang'an is already waking up. You hear it before you see it. The massive bronze bell at the bell tower ringing 108 times. This is the signal. The city gates are opening. The curfew is lifted. Movement is allowed again. You're in a residential ward called a fang. These are walled neighborhoods within the city. Each one has its own gates that lock at night. Chang'an isn't organic like most ancient cities. It's planned, a perfect grid. 108 wards arranged in neat rows. East-west streets running straight for miles. North-south avenues are equally precise. The entire city is designed like a chessboard. Order, symmetry, control. Your house is small, wooden, with a tile roof, paper windows, a small courtyard. Not poor, but not rich either. You're a low-level government clerk, literate, educated, part of the bureaucracy that runs the empire. Outside, the streets are filled with people, officials heading to the imperial city for morning court, merchants opening shops, servants fetching water and buying breakfast. Buddhist monks in saffron robes are already on the streets, chanting morning prayers. Chang'an has hundreds of Buddhist temples, towering pagodas that dominate the skyline. Buddhism came from India centuries ago, traveled the Silk Road, and now it's everywhere in Tang, China. But so is Taoism and Confucianism, and even stranger religions. There are Zoroastrian fire temples, Nestorian Christian churches, even a mosque for Muslim merchants from Persia. Chang'an is the most religiously diverse city in the world, and it doesn't just tolerate it, it celebrates it. Morning. By the time the sun is fully up, you're walking toward the imperial city. This is the government complex in the northern part of Chang'an, where the emperor lives, where the bureaucracy operates. You pass through the Vermilion Bird Gate, the main southern entrance. The avenue leading to it is 500 feet wide. Wider than any street in Rome, wider than anything in medieval Europe. Trees line both sides, officials on horseback, palanquins carrying nobles. Foot traffic is carefully regulated. You're heading to the Ministry of Revenue. Your job is boring. Recording tax receipts from provinces, copying documents, filing reports. But you got this job through the examination system. The Tang Dynasty doesn't care who your father is. If you can pass the civil service exam, you can join the bureaucracy. The exam tests poetry, calligraphy, Confucian classics, and history. You studied for years, memorized thousands of characters, learned to write classical poetry in regulated verse. Most men fail, but you passed. And now you're here. Inside the ministry, scribes are already working, brushes moving across paper and silk, the scratch of ink on fiber, paper, invented in China centuries ago, still a luxury in most of the world, but common here. The Tang government produces thousands of documents every day, records of everything: tax receipts, legal judgments, military dispatches, diplomatic correspondence. This is how you control an empire of 50 million people. Through paperwork. Your supervisor, a 6th-rank official, gives you today's assignment. Verify grain shipments from Sichuan province. Cross-reference them with tax records. It's tedious, but it matters. The Tang Dynasty runs on grain. Rice from the south, wheat from the north, millet from the west. All of it tracked, all of it recorded, all of it was taxed. By mid-morning, you're done with your morning work. You head to the West Market, Shishi. This is where the Silk Road ends. Merchants from Persia, Sogdia, India, even Arabia gather here, selling goods that have traveled thousands of miles. You see Persian rugs, Afghan lapis lazuli, Indian ivory, Central Asian horses, glass from Rome. The West Market is enormous. Over 200 acres, shops organized by trade, silk merchants in one section, metal workers in another, food vendors in another. You hear languages you don't recognize: Sogdian, Persian, Sanskrit, Arabic. You see people dressed in clothes you've never seen: long robes, turbans, veils, pointed hats. Some of them have been living in Chang'an for generations. Foreign merchants who settled here, married Chinese women, raised half-Chinese children. The Tang Dynasty doesn't fear foreigners, it absorbs them. You stop at a stall selling Central Asian bread, thick, flat bread baked in a tandoor oven, nothing like Chinese steamed buns. The vendor is Sogdian from somewhere near modern-day Uzbekistan. He speaks broken Chinese. You buy the bread with copper coins, standard Tang currency, round with a square hole in the middle. Then you wander through the silk section. Bolts of silk in every color. Red, green, blue, gold. Some plain, some with elaborate patterns. Silk is China's most valuable export. The secret of silk production is closely guarded. Export the knowledge and you face execution. But the Tang exports the fabric itself by the ton, west along the Silk Road to Persia, then to Byzantium and Rome. In exchange, China imports glass, wool, precious stones, and most importantly, horses. Tang China is obsessed with horses. Central Asian horses, tall, fast, strong. The military needs them. The nobility wants them. Owning a good horse is a status symbol. You see a group of noblemen examining horses brought from Fergana, beautiful animals, far more expensive than you could ever afford. By noon, you're hungry again. You head to a restaurant near the East Market. Tang Dynasty China has a restaurant culture that won't appear in Europe for another 1,000 years. You sit at a table. A server brings tea, then small dishes. Dumplings, noodles, stir-fried vegetables, pork in sauce. Tea is everywhere in Tang China, prepared in a specific way, powdered leaves whisked in hot water. A new tea culture is sweeping the elite. Soon, a young scholar named Lu Yu will immortalize these exact rituals in his famous classic of tea. How to grow it, how to prepare it, how to drink it. The Tang elite are obsessed with refinement, proper tea ceremony, proper poetry, proper calligraphy. Speaking of poetry, the men at the next table are reciting verses. Poetry is the mark of an educated person. Officials write poetry, scholars write poetry, even courtesans write poetry. The greatest poets are celebrities. Li Bai, the drunken wanderer who writes about wine and the moon. Du Fu, the serious poet who writes about war and suffering. Everyone can quote their verses. Tang poetry follows strict rules, lines of 5 or 7 characters, specific tonal patterns, regulated rhyme schemes. It's difficult, but that's the point. Anyone can speak. Only the educated can write classical poetry. After lunch, you visit a tea house. Inside, a musician is playing the pipa, a pear-shaped lute that came from Persia. Music in the Tang Dynasty is cosmopolitan. Chinese instruments mixed with Central Asian ones. Chinese melodies mixed with foreign rhythms. The current emperor Xuanzong is obsessed with music. He personally composes pieces. He maintains a court orchestra of hundreds of musicians. Art and culture aren't luxuries in Tang China. They're how you demonstrate civilization. By afternoon, you're at a gathering in the Imperial Academy. This is where scholars study and debate, where the classics are preserved, where the future officials are trained. Today, there's a poetry contest. Several young scholars compete to write the best regulated verse on a given theme. The theme is Parting at a Frontier Fort. Each scholar has an hour to compose an 8-line poem, 5 characters per line, strict tonal patterns, precise rhyme scheme. The judges are senior officials. They'll evaluate technique, imagery, emotional resonance. The winner gets prestige, maybe a better position in the bureaucracy, maybe an introduction to a powerful patron. This is how careers are made in Tang China, not through birth, through talent, at least in theory. In reality, connections still matter. The aristocratic families still dominate the top positions. But the exam system and the poetry culture create opportunities that didn't exist in earlier dynasties. While the contest continues, you wander through the academy's library. Scrolls and books everywhere, Confucian classics, Buddhist sutras, Taoist texts, historical records, poetry collections. Some are hand-copied by scribes, but increasingly they're printed. Woodblock printing. The text is carved in reverse on a wooden block. Ink is applied. Paper is pressed against it. Multiple identical copies from a single block. This technology has existed for a while, but the Tang Dynasty is perfecting it. Right now, Buddhist monasteries use it to mass-produce sutras and charms. Soon, the government will realize its potential to print calendars and official documents. In a few centuries, this technology will spread west. But right now, it's just one more innovation among many. As the sun sets, the drums at the drum towers start beating. This is the signal. Curfew is approaching. The ward gates will close soon. You're supposed to go home, lock yourself in your ward, stay there until dawn, but you don't. Instead, you head to an area near the West Market where the rules are flexible. The night market. Technically illegal, technically forbidden. But the authorities look the other way. Too much money involved. Too many powerful people are enjoying it. Lanterns illuminate the streets. Red, yellow, white. Food stalls everywhere. Grilled meat, fried dough, sweet cakes, wine. The Tang Chinese love wine. Grape wine from the West. Rice wine. Fermented millet. Li Bai, the famous poet, is legendary for drinking. His poems celebrate intoxication. You buy a cup of wine and wander through the market. Musicians playing, dancers performing, Central Asian whirling dancers in colorful costumes. Storytellers recounting tales from Buddhist scriptures or historical romances. This is the other side of Tang China, not the disciplined bureaucracy. Not the regulated poetry. This is a pleasure, entertainment, commerce that doesn't stop for curfew. Women are here too, not respectable women, but courtesans, entertainers, servers. Tang Dynasty. Women have more freedom than in later Chinese dynasties. They can own property, some can divorce, a few even hold government positions, but they're still constrained, expected to manage households, produce sons, stay modest, except here in the night market, where normal rules bend. Later, much later, the night watch starts patrolling. These are government soldiers who enforce the curfew. Anyone caught on the streets can be arrested, beaten, fined. You slip back into your ward just before the gates close. The wooden gates slam shut, bars drop into place. Until dawn, you're locked in. This is the contradiction of Chang'an, the most cosmopolitan city in the world, the most culturally advanced, the most technologically sophisticated, and also rigidly controlled. Surveillance, curfews, regulations. The Tang Dynasty maintains order through bureaucracy and force. Every household is registered, every resident tracked, every movement is monitored. It works. Chang'an has remarkably little crime for a city of 1 million people, but it's also suffocating. You're home now, paper windows glowing with lamplight. Your wife has prepared a simple dinner, rice, vegetables, maybe some fish. Your children are practicing calligraphy, copying characters over and over until the strokes are perfect. Education is everything in Tang China, the path to advancement, the mark of civilization. You help your son with his studies, explaining the meaning of classical texts, correcting his brushwork. Someday, maybe he'll pass the exams. Maybe he'll rise higher than you did. That's the promise of the Tang Dynasty. Merit over birth, talent over connections. It's not always true, but sometimes it is. And that possibility is revolutionary. So that was 24 hours in Tang Dynasty China. Not just the silk and the poetry, not just the legends and the emperors. The real Chang'an. Curfews and night markets, bureaucracy and wine. Foreigners speaking Persian next to scholars reciting classical verse. The Tang Dynasty lasted nearly 300 years, from 618 to 907 AD. At its peak, it was the most powerful, most advanced, most sophisticated civilization on Earth. While Europe was struggling through the Dark Ages, Chang'an had 1 million people, an incredibly complex legal code, printed texts, and water-driven astronomical clocks. While other empires feared foreigners, the Tang welcomed them, absorbed their ideas, integrated their culture. The Tang gave us innovations we still use. Woodblock printing, the ancestor of the printing press. Taoist alchemists laying the groundwork for gunpowder. Advanced cartography. They perfected porcelain, created poetry forms that are still studied today, built a bureaucracy based on merit, not just birth. And then it collapsed. The An Lushan rebellion in 755 AD devastated the empire. Millions died. The central government weakened. The dynasty limped on for another 150 years, but never recovered its glory. By 907, the Tang was gone. China fragmented into warring states. But the memory of the Tang remained. Later dynasties looked back to it as a golden age, the peak of Chinese civilization. Even today, the Chinese diaspora sometimes calls itself Tang people. Chinatowns around the world are called Tang people streets. The dynasty is gone, but its influence shaped everything that came after. Thanks for watching Time Warp Cities. Creating these reconstructions takes enormous amounts of research and time, piecing together centuries of history into one day. If you enjoyed this journey through Tang Dynasty China, hit subscribe for more immersive history and drop a comment. What ancient civilization should we visit next? As always, we'll see you in the past.